I'm Terry Ferris, and I'm here to welcome you to this month's Beyond the Book Club as we are focusing on my book, You Belong With Me, my first novel. And so I am just here to answer a few questions about me. And let's get started. How did you get started writing? Well, that's an interesting story because it's different than most authors. Many authors just knew they wanted to write from the very beginning. If you would have told me in high school, even college, that I'd be a professional writer, an author someday, I would laugh at you and then run in the opposite direction. I had no desire to do anything like this. I didn't even enjoy reading that much. I was undiagnosed dyslexic, and I had learned to get what I needed out of textbooks to get decent grades, but I was always struggled with paying attention long enough, or my eyes would get really tired when I would read. And so I did not find the love of fiction for many years. Actually, I was about 27, 28 when I got put on bed rest with my first child, and I had no choice because Wi-Fi didn't exist back then to bring it to your bed. And so I just had to start reading, and it was the only thing I had to do. And so I just read and read and read. And I realized, even though I fell asleep a lot in the beginning, the more I read, the stronger my eyes got. And I actually fell in love with reading at about age 28. And then I just couldn't stop reading anything because I had always loved romance. I'd always loved story. And I just fell in love with novels. And then one day I was actually had read everything in my house. And again, what the options of downloading books at your fingertips was not an option. Then you actually had to go to the library if you had read everything in your house. And so I sat down and started writing a story that I had thought about many times. It wasn't a very good story, but it really sparked the love of writing fiction. And so that was super fun. And actually that was about 17 years ago. So that's where I've been. And when you do that, if you can figure out your math, you can probably figure out how old I am. Also, is this the first book you ever wrote? No. You Belong With Me actually is the third full-length novel I had ever wrote. The first one is the one I mentioned in the previous story. I'm not sure I could say that it was full-length. I wrote most of it and then realized I really didn't have a way to end it. And so I ended up jumping to a second book, which I had an idea for the ending. And I wrote that book. And I was super excited, and I took it to a conference, and I sat down in my first class, and I went through all the, watched them lecture on how to strengthen your structure, and I realized I had no structure and I didn't know how to write a book. So I signed up for my book therapy with Susan May Warren, and I just dove into her teaching, and out of that came You Belong With Me. And so I actually started this one at her first retreat. It's gone through it went through many revisions, but it is that first story. Number 3, have you always wrote romance? Yes. I do have some other side projects I've started when I need some just to do something different. I've written some fantasy. I've written one historical-ish type of romance. I wrote, I like the remakes of fiction, like the Disney story, like the princess stories. I like to do remakes of those. I like to do Jane Austen remakes. I've never actually completed any of these. Right now they're just kind of a fun side thing, but I will say, no matter what genre, anything I write will always have a strong thread of romance in it. What are you passionate about? I am probably most passionate about people just really feeling the love of Jesus and understanding his love and grace, which is why I really try to weave it into all of my books, of people who've been through hard things, or they've gone through hard places in their life, and yet God is there to meet them and extend his love. No matter what they've done, he is there. And I know I've experienced that grace in my life, and I just want other people to understand and just know and love that grace and accept that, and know the joy that comes from it. And the last question, number 5, what do you do for fun? I would say for fun, I like to create, which I know it sounds crazy because I do create my novels, but I just also like to, and it always varies. That's why I can't say, well, I like to scrapbook, because I did that for a while, and I will probably get back to doing that again. When my of pictures, I love to, to creating scrapbooks. I sew, so I used to always make my kids Halloween costumes. That's one reason why we had such elaborate Halloween costumes with my children, was because it was the one time a year I pulled out my sewing machine and would just really create something. It was super fun to do. And it was the one time I got to meet my neighbors, because it's the one time that everybody came out of their house and socialized. Let's see what else. I also love, right now, since when the COVID shut down, we ended up redecorating our entire house. So right now I've been creating wall arrangements so that I have this nice house that's peaceful. I love to create just lots of artistic types of things. And I also come from a creative family. This sign right here, my dad actually made that for me for my launch team, along with several other things. He's very creative with wood. He made my desk. I'm from a family that loves to create. So that's what I would probably say I do for fun. I hope this has been a little informative, a little bit get to know Terry. I hope you just love Luke and Hannah as much as I do, and Thomas and Janie as I introduce this series. And I'm getting ready to launch the 3rd book in the series next month, so that's super exciting. Lots going on. Feel free to drop in the comments any other questions, and maybe I'll do another Q&A later on in this and answer some of the questions you guys might have of me. Thank you so much again for joining us for Beyond the Book, and I look forward to having a great month with you.